Welcome to Happy on Purpose by Lantern Light, a space for real conversations with people who live with intention, resilience, and heart. I'm your host, Jeunesse, and today I'm joined by Barbara J. Harris. Barbara is a motivational speaker and published author, but more than that, she's someone who embodies what it means to keep choosing life, even as life keeps asking you to let go. At 36, Barbara's world shattered when her husband was killed in a car accident just 10 months into their marriage. Everything had to be rebuilt, not just her future, but her sense of self. And later in life came another threshold, Parkinson's, the loss of driving, and a radical redefinition of independence. And yet, when Barbara enters a room, even with a walker, she brings fire. People feel it immediately. She doesn't deny the hard parts, but she refuses the story that aging means shrinking, disappearing, or being done. Barbara calls this chapter her fire era. Still rocking, still learning, still showing up. And today we're going to talk about thresholds, turning points, and what it really takes to stay alive on purpose. So welcome, Barbara. I'm just so glad you're here. This is going to be a great interview.
Thank you so much. You got me in tears listening about myself.
Oh, well, that's perfect. That's what I'm always hoping for. I always find it so interesting that we just don't see ourselves the way other people see us. You know, and going through the information that you sent, specifically the one message from someone you met, I just thought, you know, this lady has got the right view on life.
She certainly does.
She does, yeah. Refer to yourself in the third person. You're that awesome.
That's right.
Well, we only have about 35 minutes, so 35 to 40. So we're just going to dive in like usual. Are you ready?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Sure.
So I love that you described this chapter of your life as your fire era. But what does that mean to you? And when did you realize you weren't done yet?
Well, first of all, there's this wonderful lady that I met, and she works with women going through menopause and getting a little bit older. And that's the lady that wrote the bio that I sent you.
Oh,
And she calls this our fire era. And I kind of like that because I feel like I'm on fire. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes not in a good way, but it's kind of our last chapter, but that's okay because there's lots of things, like I think the one thing that really stuck out to me in my life when I learned that I get to make my choices.
ooh,
What I do is my choice.
that's powerful in itself, right?
It is. And in my book, I talk about A plus B equals C. Action plus what we believe about it create the consequences or the outcomes. Where so many people you talk to today blame the action or the event instead of what they believe about it. But just change your belief about it and you get a new outcome.
Yeah. It is really fascinating how much our belief system factors into how we make our choices and
That's
our
right.
decisions. Yeah.
That's correct. And we often have reactions based on a subconscious belief that we don't really acknowledge or know about that created in us from an event or something that happened when we were younger. And so we carry that with us. So the work that I do as a Psych facilitator, which stands for psychology and kinesthetics, helps to clear those blocks.
Amazing. I've never heard those two modalities or definitions used together. Did you want to maybe elaborate on that?
Sure. So I trained with Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr. Rob Williams in California and was mentored by Shakti Gawain. So I don't know if you recognize any of those names, but Dr. Bruce Lipton is a renowned doctor. And he, as a scientist, kept proving that you could change your cells by your belief system.
Wow.
And as a scientist, he kept going to bed all flustered and all confused. And he woke up one morning and he changed from being a scientist to a spiritualist because he got it. He got it.
The big it.
That's right. So, as a PSYCH facilitator, what I do is I establish communications with my clients through muscle testing. And when they're very clear what's positive and what is negative, then I move forward and I get them to talk to me about their goals. And once they talk about their goals, I'm trained to hear what subconscious beliefs they have that are holding them back. Once we do that, then we create a positive affirmation to rewrite that subconscious belief that's not helping them.
Mm.
And when we do that, we put them into what's called whole brain body posture. They rewrite that subconscious belief. And then we muscle test again to make sure they've got it. And then the next time they go after their goal, instead of sabotaging themselves just before they hit the finish line,
Mm.
they move forward because now they have a new belief.
That's so awesome. It's an interesting thing to think that that can be facilitated. Because in my background, it tends to be really heady as a background in counseling therapy. But I always morphed more towards that sort of spiritual side, our belief systems, all the rest. So I love it's very validating to hear that.
That's correct. Well, Dr. Rob Williams, that created this modality, he said he was, sorry, I'm starting to lose. He
That's
was
okay.
in
Take your
big
time.
business and he started to find that he was not fulfilled as a person, even though he was doing well financially. So he learned to become a therapist and help people with their um, problems. But he found that they came back every week with the same problems. They left feeling better, but they came back with the same problems. So he tells the story. He lived in Denver, and he tells the story. I went out in my backyard and I was mad as heck because I just had a client come to me for the ninth time with the same problem. We seemed to fix it. They came back with the same problem. He says, I banged the snow off a chair. I sat down. He says, and it was just like I could see typing in front of me, telling me how to do this PSYCH. So he went in and he typed it out and he used it on a few friends and family members, and away you go.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. I always like the things that can't necessarily be explained. I find them so fascinating. And they're just absolutely peppered throughout anybody that's in the healing profession.
That's
There's
right.
always those stories of this. Like, I'm just totally goosebumpy right now. This total down, when you get a download from somewhere. That's why I think we can't dispute that there is, so call it energetically, call it a universe, call it a god. I don't, doesn't matter to me what we call it, but there is a thing, the big it that you called, right? When you
Right.
get it, whatever that is, it's
Right.
life changing.
That's right. And you had asked me at one point about the book that I read, Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain. When my husband was killed in the car accident, I, of course, was going through a lot, but we had 5 acres, 9 buildings, 28 in-house staff, and a fleet of 13 vehicles, and 257 farm families that we supported with their weekly paycheck. And all of a sudden, my husband, who had run it for over 20 years, was gone, and I was 51% owner with his four daughters.
Wow.
So we took that on, and everybody said, "Oh, Barb, we're so sorry, what are you going to do now?" And I said, "I'm going to run the creamery." And they said, "Oh, but you can't do that. You're the principal of a private business school." And I said, "Well, yeah, I can, and I'm going to." So I
Awesome.
was the first person ever to sit with the Minister of Food and Agriculture to discuss the problems of the creamery industry. So there you go. You just decide what you want to do. You put the intention out there and you go for it.
Yes. I think that's where people get stuck. We could stay on this question forever. I'm going to move on because there's so much
Okay.
more good. I'm like, I feel like I just want to know more, but I have to realize there's an audience that wants to hear the other stuff too. We should have a coffee one time by Zoom. Uh,
Right.
so people often feel your energy the moment you arrive, even on hard days. Where do you think that fire comes from now? And with all this knowledge that you have, how do you
Right.
sum it up?
Well, I've always loved being with people. So when I get to go out and be with people, that excites me, and I guess I just carry the energy into the room. I don't really know how I do it or where it comes from. It's just who I am.
Yeah. I think there's something so powerful when you're with people that have, I'll say wisdom, and I don't even mean that means age. Like some of us start out of the gate a little behind, maybe not right word, but maybe not in an environment that is conducive to this type of learning and the self work that needs to be done.
Correct.
And some people learn it later in life. I find it so fascinating that you mentioned menopause because I'm 56, I'll be 57 in June. And so my peer group, we are in that. And so we're talking about it and it's fun to observe how different women are going transition into what
Right.
I feel like is this is the wisdom era. Like I feel like even though my life imploded too, this is the building now. This is the sweet sweetness this time of life.
That's correct. Until, of course, Parkinson's hit. And then, like it's very difficult because it's not something that people see. Like I don't have the outside jitters, but inside I'm trembling. You can't see it, but I can feel it all the time.
Right.
And I have the very stiffness and the movements and the joints, so my mobility is getting very tough. I'm one of the really fortunate people in that my new husband of 27 years,
New.
he says he loves to take care of me, and he does a fabulous job of it.
What a gift. What a gift for sure.
For sure. He really is my gift.
That's so wonderful. So for all those women out there, there are good men left. Some of them are
There
snapped
are.
up. Mine, I have a good one too. My second relationship.
Good for
Learned the
you.
hard way in the first one, but here we are,
Right.
right?
Well, if I can tell you a little secret, he's my fifth husband.
Oh, well, some of us just need more time, I guess. I was gonna my one friend, she said third time's a charm. Well, now I'm gonna have to say fifth time is the charm.
That's correct.
It doesn't matter. We get there eventually, I think.
That's correct.
If
We
you're doing the
do.
work. This is the thing, changing the beliefs, looking at our values, looking at, some attachment things. There's so much to be learned when we start to look at ourselves. Everything is possible, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah. So losing your first husband at 36, not the other four, we don't need to talk about them. Losing, or maybe the other three, the middle ground. We don't need to know what happened there unless you want to share. But losing your first husband at 36 changed everything. Looking back, what was the first small choice you made that helped you rebuild? I know you said you were really in it. You had to make some big decisions. But if you, in your quiet moments, what was that helped you to rebuild?
I think it was sort of the, just watch me. Yes, I can. Does
Don't
that
tell me
make
no.
sense? Does that make sense? Because, I mean, it was a man's world, and I lived in a little town of 750 people, and, people didn't think that I could do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just watch me.
Yeah, I love that. Just tell me no and I'll prove you wrong, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that, and then knowing that I had a choice, like making that choice. But it was really interesting because after my husband passed, I took on his position in the Creamerymen's Association. And so the first time after he passed, when I went to a meeting, they literally patted me on the head.
No.
Yes, they
What a good
did.
little lady.
That's exactly right. Boy, did I show them.
No doubt. Love it. I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs that are men's world, right? You just come in like a gentle force and show them.
That's right.
Not
Yeah,
to not to be man bashing, but there is a difference. All the women listeners are nodding their heads. The men are like, "Oh no," you know.
well, some men, like most of them, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, in the business world especially.
In the business world, yeah, for sure, for sure.
The
I mean,
really,
even the title. What was it? The Creamery Men's Association. We need to change that.
that's right.
Yeah. So you're not doing that anymore, obviously.
Oh, no, 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 no. That was in 1987. I took on the business and I ran it for 4 years and then I moved on.
Yeah, probably a lot. Probably a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of touched on this, but a friend gave you creative visualization during that time. What did that book give you when everything else felt unstable? And maybe just say the name of the book again.
It's called Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain.
Shacked Queen.
And I got to go on and do some courses with her, which was fabulous. She was an amazing, amazing person. And I got to go and spend a weekend with her and her husband came up and he was a nature person. And we went out into the forest. I got to share this quick story.
Yeah, no,
It was
please
really
do.
cute. So we go out in the forest and he's teaching us how to put our hands up like this so we can hear things differently. And if you try that, you'll just,
100%.
and
100%.
and the same here. So anyway, I'm up and I'm going through the forest and I've got my hands up and I'm listening and all of a sudden I hear this "ow, ow" off in the background. And so I'm thinking, "Oh, this is really cool." So we go back to the seminar and we're all sharing. And so this one lady says, "Yeah, I got up on this stump and I'm going, ow, ow." So it wasn't an animal that I was thinking I was hearing. It was this
Well,
little.
you got the message. Doesn't matter.
It was really cute. Anyway, Shakti Gawain, she wrote this book, Creative Visualization. And I mean, it's an old book, but I've actually repurchased it and I gave it as a gift to very many people that I thought would enjoy it. And she talks about creating our visions and living towards that. So it's all about the beliefs and the intentions and stuff like that. But it seemed like whenever I was having a really rough time, I'd pick it up, and wherever I picked it up to seemed to have my answer, which was quite lovely.
Yeah. There's often those books that you return to. For me, it's Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I find
Hmm.
it just grounds me, even
That's
if I just
correct.
hear his voice, because I'm high strung by nature. Now, illness has made me mellow out, but now to fight the body and the mind when the body and mind want to run, but
That's
the
right.
body is not cooperating, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah, so we need those grounding texts or whatever you want to call them.
Right.
Yeah. You've spoken openly about letting go of driving. And this is a big one for my generation too, because our parents are aging, and those conversations are having to be had. So something many people fear quietly is the ability of losing the ability to drive. So what did that transition teach you about vulnerability and receiving?
That's a really good question. I think probably the feeling of being able to let go and receiving what the good parts of it was that people were taking care of me.
Mm-hmm.
And in some ways that was really difficult for me, but then what I do is I turn things around. Okay, if I was the person helping somebody, if I was the person picking somebody up, how would I feel? I'd feel really good.
Yeah.
So I got to the point where I was able to say I'm doing something good for this person by letting them pick me up and drive me.
Yeah, because it is true. We do feel really like it's,
Oh, for sure.
there's something about being of service that really innately fills us up.
Correct.
Yeah, so I
That
love
is
that.
so correct.
Letting people love on you. My dad, he used to say, I just don't want you to worry. And I'm like, I'm allowed to worry because I love you. I'm allowed
Right.
to help you because I love you. It's part of the deal.
That's correct. That's right.
Yeah.
Every now and then my husband will come in and he gives me a big hug and he says, "You're so beautiful and I just adore you." And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what's to adore? I'm a lump on a log now, but he does and he makes me feel that every day. And that's part of why I keep going. Like I'm very proud to say that I can still do all of my own personal things, like
Yes.
I take care of myself 100%. So that's really nice. Every now and then I'll have a stiffness where I can't move and he'll have to help me move a little bit, but mostly I take care of me.
Yeah. Oh, powerful. It's fascinating that you didn't fall into the why
Right.
me's.
Well, that's where we have the choices. And everything is a choice. If you're feeling crummy and you're having a bad day, you have a choice. And some of us choose to have a bad day, and that's okay. We're allowed to have a bad day. But when you're finished having the bad day and you want to move on, you get to choose that. You get to move on.
Yeah. I think, it's important to remember that all of the emotions are valuable and valid, and they carry messages too. So if you're having a particularly crummy day and you've kind of ruled out, am I hungry? Am I tired? Am I in pain?
Mhm.
Those things, and you're still just ruminating and in your head. And I feel like a lot of the times we're either so immersed in the future or so regretting the past that our present gets stuck.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We have to live in the now because the past is the past and there's no guarantees for the future. So we're here now. And, me waking up this morning and knowing that you wanted to talk to me was my motivation for the day today.
Ah, well,
It was so nice.
I could say the same. I was so excited. I was telling my son, he was up making breakfast. I'm like, it's not very often I get to talk to somebody that's got more wisdom, or, well, not wisdom, but more age and more life experience and more, like, I can actually really learn something. I learned from all the guests, but both my parents have passed away quite young. So anytime I get to talk to someone that's still doing really cool things, in their 70s, I'm all about it. So I woke up inspired too.
Why, thank you. See, that just made my day.
Yeah. Well, that's so good. What a great day. How has asking for help oh, go ahead.
No, that's okay.
Oh, I'm this kind of circling back a bit, but how has asking for help changed the way you understand strength? So we talked about it being vulnerable, the fact that you can still, do a lot of things on your own, but when you have to ask for help, there's a lot of language around that feeling like a weakness out there in the world. How did
Right.
you change that as to understanding it as a strength?
Well, it's a strength for me to be able to ask for help because I I don't like asking for help. I like to do things myself.
Yes.
So I had to pull up that strength. But the strength came from knowing that people want to help me.
Yes. That's
And
it in a
so
nutshell.
that's it in a nutshell. Exactly.
Yeah. Believe them when they say, no, I
Yes,
really want to do this for you.
exactly. And it's really strange because I don't want people to treat me differently. And so when I am introduced to somebody new and they reach out to help me and I say, "Thank you very much. I really appreciate that you want to help me. I'll ask for help when I need it. Otherwise, please let me do it on my own. It's good for me to move and to have movement. So thank you very much. And then when I do ask, they're like, oh, she needs me, you know?
Yeah,
And there's nothing like feeling like you're needed.
absolutely. I'm trying to think of that on the other side because there are people that overcare, right? That get overmeshed. So when I like that you said that as a boundary almost of like I'll ask for help. We're always grateful when people offer for certain.
Exactly.
But when you say I'm okay right now, that's not a denial of the love and the intention. It's just I'm okay right now. I'm okay, let me be. And there's power in that, I feel.
Correct.
Yeah. I think that's a good lesson for a lot of people that, just because you offered to help and you got denied, it's not a slight on the offer being the help being offered. It's just that there's some autonomy still being needed.
That's correct. And that's why I preface it with saying thank you very much, but I need to do the movements. I need to move. So thank you. And I appreciate knowing that you're there, that if I need help, I can ask for it.
Yeah. That's that in itself, I feel like is such a good little nugget for both the people that are giving and receiving.
That's correct.
But
Yeah.
it also rolls back to our beliefs, I think. Like if we believe that when we offer help and
Mhm.
it's not received, that somehow that's a negative, or like well, they didn't accept my help, or, was I not good enough to help? That's in our head. That is the language of lack, or I don't even know what the right word would be for that. But when we see it as no, they're healthy enough and loving enough to say, thank you, but no thank you right now.
Correct.
Oh, I love that. There's something about that that's just ruminating around, spinning around in my head. I'm like, there's a good nugget and lesson in there. So you said you've said where you put your energy is where you get your results. So how do you
Correct.
actually live that now, day to day?
Well, some mornings, well, most mornings when I wake up, I just want to come out and sit in my comfy chair and have my cup of tea. But if I don't do my morning routine, I pay for it later in the day. So how I do that is when I wake up in the morning, I do my half hour healing meditation, and then I do my half hour stretching, and then I have my protein smoothie. And as long as I do that in the morning, I'm not too bad throughout the day.
Yeah, but if you give in to I just want to stay in my pajamas and
And
it's
have that cup of tea, forget it.
yeah. Oh, I can relate to that so much. Because next thing you know, you're reading or you're kind of daydreaming, and then you've been sitting, and the day just starts to tick on.
That's right, because you never wake up the second time. You know, your
Yeah,
day doesn't start over. So if you don't get going, so
yeah,
I'm far, far, far from perfect, trust me. But I'd say 5 mornings a week I do that.
yeah. I always say the 80-20 rule, right? It can be worked on either side. If we nail it 80% of the time, we can slough off the other 20.
That's
And
right.
radical
Right.
forgiveness for when we don't measure up to our own standards.
Right. And and I beat myself up too, like anybody does, but then I've got the tools to pull myself back down and say, stop that, Barbara.
Yeah, you know better.
Yes,
Give yourself a little talking to.
that's correct.
Yeah, I love that. So, what feels most alive for you right now, creatively, emotionally, or spiritually, or all of the above? Just what are you feeling most alive in this moment?
Well, I've actually had a really tough week because we got two rescues when we lived in Mexico and we brought them home with us. They're sisters. And the one little wee black one, Mocha, she's my baby. I never had children, so she's always been my little baby girl. And had a tumor pop up this week, and we took her to the vets. And after a lot of tests and a lot of money, we discovered the tumor is cancerous.
Mm,
And so to put her through this surgery would be very hard on her and extremely tough on our bank accounts.
yes.
And there's no guarantee. So we're working on her spiritually and holistically to try and shrink the tumor because the cancer has not spread anywhere else. So it was a rough week for me.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks. I mean, people say it's only a dog, but she's not only a dog to me, she's my baby.
Yeah.
So that was a tough, and emotions are hard on me physically. Um, yeah, so it's been a couple of tough weeks, but now that I can hold her in my arms and set the intentions around the cancer going away and the tumor shrinking, I'm feeling a lot better.
Oh, good. Yeah. Just do what you can do. And at
That's
the
right.
end of the day, it feels like love, right? Just love. This world, we don't know what we're supposed to be doing here other than be kind and love. I think those are the only mandates.
That's correct. And it's funny that you say that about being kind because a couple of years ago, everybody was making their New Year's resolutions. Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I said, all I really want to do is to be as kind as I can possibly be. Do you know I had the best year, so much fun out of just being kind.
I
You
believe
know,
it. I do believe it. And again, it's that being kind to someone else and seeing how it changes their day, then it makes us feel even better.
that's
It's such a
correct.
simple thing, right? But it's accessible to anybody. Instead of laying on your horn when someone cuts you off, understand that maybe they're in a hurry to get somewhere. Maybe somebody needs them. Maybe they're distracted because something has happened. Give them grace. Namaste. Send them some love on the way. Or
That's correct.
so many small things, letting somebody in line that has one or two items when you got a cart full. There's just so many opportunities that don't cost a single penny.
And the rewards are so big. The
Yes.
rewards are so big. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's that well, people have said the ripple effect, right? You do one act of kindness, you go home feeling better. You may be kinder in your familial home. Everybody that you come in contact with, maybe you share that love a little more. They go home and be a little kinder. We don't have to be thinking on these global scales of changing the world. I think if we start with ourselves and ripple it out to even the 10 people that we come in contact with.
Right. And when I do my psyche work, it's amazing how many people say, well, can I change this person or can I get this person to do so and so? I say, well, no, not really. But once you change, chances are pretty good they will change too.
It's contagious.
It it's so contagious and it's so fun and it's so easy to do.
Yeah, it is one of those things where you just wish more people would just get it, right? Instead of staying in your head in that negative spiral.
That's
It's like,
correct.
oh, let's just do good work.
And in the spring last year, I heard about the North Shoe Swap Women in Business starting up. And it was a new group, and I thought, well, I don't do much business, but I've got my book that I'd like to get republished and stuff like that. And so I decided to go. Well, I knew that the first meeting was up this really big flight of stairs, like it's a
Uh,
double flight of stairs. So I said to my husband, if you take me there and you make sure I'm okay getting up the stairs and have my walker waiting for me at the top, I'm going to go. He said, okay. So all the way over, I just kept saying to myself, I'm walking up that flight of stairs. I'm walking up that flight of stairs. I'm easily walking up that flight of stairs. And my husband said, you got to the bottom of that staircase and you took a big breath and you just boom, 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 right to the top. Now,
amazing.
I don't know how I did that, but I got back on my walker. He disappeared. And the ladies were freaking amazing. This North Shuswap, I cannot tell you the talent that we have here. It's unbelievable.
Yep. Yeah, I've said that so many times. I think, and that's how this program even really came to birth, was I was just seeing absolutely incredible people doing this amazing work locally, but you didn't hear about them. So then I was like, oh, there's got to be a directory. There's what, but then you got to know about the directory. I'm like, you got to know the people. And once you know the people, if they resonate, you're going to search them out. And there's just infinite things going on in this valley.
I know. And then they decided to do a holistic day and they rented the big hall. We had 22 women there
Yes.
doing their different types of businesses in the holistic realm. It was absolutely mind-boggling that it was all talent from here on the North Shore.
Yeah. So wonderful.
I know. And you met Mel Bloxham.
Yes.
She helped me republish my book. She did the new cover for me, and she helped me get it on Amazon. And then
Wow.
they asked me to be the keynote speaker at their beautiful gala dinner. I was like beyond excited and so pleased.
Yeah, the reciprocity, right? When you allow that, it's such a natural, beautiful flow.
It certainly is.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close to having to wrap up. I feel like I could talk to you for hours and hours.
Thank
So much
you.
good information. So we'll wrap up with the final two questions of many women listening are quietly afraid of aging, slowing down, or becoming invisible. What would you want them to know?
It's their choice. It's that simple of an answer. It really is your choice. And you just pick somebody who, like I'm going to be celebrating my 75th birthday in a couple of weeks. You know what I'm doing? I'm
What?
having a steampunk party.
Fantastic. I will be looking for that online. I want photos.
Okay, I'm ordering my bustier today. It's black with a big red rose down it, and I'm going to do my hat with big red roses on it, and the
Oh, so
goggles
good.
and the chains and everything.
I love it. Never too old for a steampunk party.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. That makes me think about play, and the power of play, continuing to play, whatever that looks like for bringing joy. It sounds like you're really good at playing, just having some fun.
That's correct.
All right. So when you look ahead, not 5 years from now, but maybe just next, you talked about republishing your book, but are you offering sessions? Are like what's next that you're excited about?
Well, I guess mostly I'm excited about my birthday party because
Yes.
75 is like something that it's only a number, but oh my gosh, it's my number now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I do sessions when people need me. I go to their homes and I do a session with them. Teach them, first of all, the power of the belief system and how we use it every day in everything that we do. We are using it all the time for the good and for the bad.
Mm,
So if there's something you want, we need to look at the belief that you have around it to be able to correct it. So I don't really advertise or put it out there, but if somebody says they would like to do something and they're stuck, then I would gladly go and help them clear that and move on.
that's so great. So great. Well, we'll wrap up for today, but I would love to have more conversation with you in the future.
Oh,
You're
right. That sounds wonderful.
So many guests have been so inspiring, and it all sits with me. I feel like this program is more for me than anyone else. I just get to talk to all these amazing people and help me on my journey and my headspace and my doubling down on my spiritual practices. So I am so grateful for you for, this was kind of short I'd put it out there because I'd had a cancellation, and you jumped in. And I was like, well, that's divine. We'll just
That's
trust that
right.
this is how it's supposed to be.
And I should have a book with me, and I forgot to have a book that I could hold up and say,
It's
"Here's
okay.
my book," but it's an ice cream cone on the front, and it's called Believe It, Achieve It, Reaching for the Second Scoop.
Perfect.
Right. And it's on Amazon. You can order it. It's only $17. It's an easy read, and
And but life changing, I'm guessing.
if you want it to be, if you choose that.
Yes. Yeah, that's her. There's no magic. There's no magic formula. You got to really read it and absorb it
Right.
and work with it.
And take it in, yes.
Take it in. Well, Barbara, thank you truly from the bottom of my heart for your honesty, your sense of humor, and your refusal to pretend. I really just get this feeling that you just really are who you are. You show up as you are.
That's
And
all
what
she wrote.
yeah, and what you offer isn't motivation that skips over the hard parts. It's lived wisdom and it's permission to allow whatever's happening. I think your story is proof that life doesn't end at the thresholds, but it reshapes itself. So thank you for reminding us that aging isn't about fading out. It's about deciding brightly we're still willing to live. And for listeners who want to learn more, she just so eloquently talked about it, but Barbara is the author of Believe and Achieve, Reaching for a Second Scoop, available on Amazon. Barbara, I'm so grateful for you. And I know this won't be the last stage that you step onto.
Correct. Thank you so much. This has been a real pleasure and an honor.
Thank you.